The Prime Minister and Me, a romantic comedy audiobook. Chapter 1. Coffee and Collisions. Disclaimer. This is a work of fiction. All characters, events, and institutions in this story are purely imaginary. Any resemblance to real people, governments, or public figures, living or dead, is entirely coincidental. This story was created for entertainment purposes only. London in the spring smells like ambition and exhaust fumes. And that's exactly what I was drowning in, ambition and bad luck, when I spilled a large, double-shot, extra foamy oat milk latte on the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Yes, the actual Prime Minister. Not a look-alike, not a prank. The man himself, wearing a suit that probably cost more than my rent, and wielding the power to ruin my entire week with a single disappointed glance. I, naturally, chose to ruin his. Oh God, that's not your tie. That's the economy's tie, isn't it? It's all right. I've survived worse than a flat white. He was calm, too calm, which somehow made it worse. Because no man should look that good in a moment of caffeinated chaos. Especially not the leader of the free market. Especially not while I was holding a half-eaten croissant like a weapon. Just charge me with treason and let's move on. Miss Daisy Moore, civilian, coffee criminal, I surrender. That's how it started. Not with a date, not with a swipe, but with a stain, and a smile, and a man who couldn't afford distractions, and a girl who was won. I should have walked away. I should have apologized, bought him a new tie, and faded into the background like every other face in the crowd. But instead, I stood there, blinking, babbling, blushing. I'm not a protester, or an activist, or even that political. I just wanted a muffin and, well, clearly that was too much to ask. Miss Moore, would you like to sit down for a moment? He gestured toward a bench, like we were about to chat about the weather. Like I hadn't just doused him in coffee on national television. Are you always this calm when attacked with bakery items? Only before noon? And then, he laughed. Not a press laugh, not a politician's chuckle, a real one. It caught me off guard. It caught him off guard. And somewhere between my panic and his smirk, the world stopped watching. That moment would follow me into headlines, hashtags, and heated office gossip. But in that second, with croissant flakes in my hair and the Prime Minister's tie slowly drying between us, I think I forgot to breathe. You're not what I expected. Neither are you. I thought you'd be taller. He grinned, like he hadn't heard that 1,000 times. Like I was a novelty instead of a national inconvenience. And as security politely nudged me away and the press resumed shouting, I realized two things. One, I just made a complete idiot of myself in front of the most powerful man in the country. And two, I never thought I'd be banned from Parliament for caffeine-related assault. Chapter 2. The Official Apology. Disclaimer. It started with a knock. 3 firm, polite taps on my apartment door. I was wearing a bathrobe and fuzzy socks with little ducks on them. The kind of outfit that screams, "Do not open the door unless it's the pizza guy." I opened it anyway. And there he was, the Prime Minister, on my doorstep, holding flowers, tulips to be precise, yellow ones. "I believe I owe you an apology," he said. For a moment, I considered slamming the door out of sheer social anxiety, but I didn't. Instead, I blinked at him like I was buffering. "You tracked me down? I asked my team to contact you, but you didn't return the call. Because I thought it was spam." He smiled, not the press-ready smile. The real one, the one with the faint dimple and barely concealed mischief. "May I come in?" I stepped aside. I didn't say yes, I just moved. Like my body had a crush before my brain caught up. He walked in, looked around at my cramped living room with the lopsided bookshelf and crumb-covered sofa, and said, "It's nice." "You're lying." "Absolutely." I stared at the tulips. "What's the occasion?" "They were on sale." "Prime ministers don't buy discount flowers." He looked almost sheepish. "They're my assistant's favorite." I panicked. I laughed. I couldn't help it. Then, just as naturally as if we were old friends instead of public scandal bait, he sat on my couch and kicked off his shoes. "I thought this was a formal apology," I said, still hovering awkwardly. "It was, but now it's lunch." He reached into his bag and pulled out Emer sandwiches, wrapped in brown paper, from a small shop near Westminster I'd only heard of in podcasts and posh articles. "This is surreal." He unwrapped his sandwich. "Only if you keep saying it is." We ate, we talked, about everything and nothing. He asked about my freelance writing. I asked about his favorite childhood book. He said The Wind in the Willows. I said Matilda. We argued over biscuits versus cookies for 20 straight minutes. At some point, I forgot who he was. He wasn't the Prime Minister anymore. He was just Elliot. Charming, clever, slightly awkward Elliot, with his sleeves rolled up and a mustard stain on his shirt. I didn't know what we were doing. I didn't know why he came, but I liked it. And I hated that I liked it. When the conversation finally lulled, I stood and started gathering wrappers and napkins. "I still don't understand why you're here," I said softly. He looked up at me, serious now. The mischief gone. The smile faded. "Because I haven't laughed like that in months." A pause. "And I think you might be the only person in this city who doesn't want something from me." "Not true," I said, folding the last napkin. "Oh?" "I want you to replace that tie, the one I ruined." He smiled again, the good one. "Done." I walked him to the door. He lingered, one hand on the knob, the other still holding the tulip wrapper. "I'll call," he said. "You won't." "I will. You're the Prime Minister. You'll get distracted by Parliament or the economy or a war." He stepped a little closer, close enough for me to smell something warm and clean and expensive. "Then maybe you should call me." I stared up at him, heart racing, not entirely sure if I wanted to kiss him or lecture him. Instead, I said, "You left your sandwich bag." He took it from my hand, smiled again, and left. I closed the door, leaned against it, and screamed into my sleeve. Because this was not normal. This was not real. This was trouble. But it was also the most I'd felt alive in years, and I already knew I was going to call him eventually. Chapter 3. The Scandal Whisperers. By Tuesday morning, I was famous. Not in the cool way, not in the "you went viral for a great dance or a clever tweet" kind of way. I was famous because I was the girl with the duck socks seen with the Prime Minister. They had pictures of him at my door, of him leaving with a stupid smile and a crumpled sandwich bag. The Daily Whisper called me the mystery woman in flannel. Someone on Twitter claimed I was a Russian spy. Another said I was his long-lost childhood sweetheart returning to reclaim his heart. The truth, me, standing barefoot in a robe, panic laughing through small talk, was far less interesting. I got exactly 4 texts from my mother, all in a row. Number 1, "Is this true?" Number 2, "Why didn't you tell me?" Number 3, "He's quite handsome." Number 4, "What are you wearing in that photo?" I didn't answer. Instead, I hid in the shower until the water went cold, then made tea and stared at my phone like it had personally betrayed me. At 11:14 a.m., my phone buzzed again. Unknown number. "Do you have a preferred biscuit?" Asking for future visits. I stared, then stared harder, then texted back, "You just tanked the entire British stock market with that headline, and you're worried about biscuits?" A beat later, "Digestives then." I couldn't help it. I smiled. Then came the knock, not at the door this time, at the window. I peeked through the curtain. A man in a black hoodie, holding a camera. "Paparazzi." I ducked, grabbed my phone, typed furiously. "To the PM, the pigeons have arrived. They brought cameras." A minute later, the phone rang. It was him. "Are you okay?" he asked. "Number, I'm being hunted. I look like an unwashed goblin. I haven't worn a bra in 3 days. And the internet thinks I'm either a spy, a mistress, or a long-lost duchess." He laughed. It wasn't helpful. "Can I send a car?" he asked gently. number. You'll make it worse. He paused. Then I'll come myself. Absolutely not. I'll wear sunglasses. Elliot! He was silent for a second, then softer. Do you want me to disappear? I hesitated. Because I should have said yes. I should have told him to go back to Parliament and pretend I was a weird daydream. But I didn't. Instead, I whispered, no. And that was the moment. That tiny, stupid moment between tea and panic, when I knew I was in trouble. Not political trouble, heart trouble.
And that's the end of part 1 of The Prime Minister and Me. From spilled coffee to secret dinners, our heroine is falling fast for the most unexpected man in power. But will their growing bond survive the public eye and political pressure? Part 2 is where everything changes. If you've enjoyed this romantic ride so far, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to Stories to Speak. Your support helps us bring more heartwarming, bittersweet love stories straight to your ears. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in part 2 of The Prime Minister and Me.